So basically what this is going to be about is we're going to learn, if you look at the front of that worksheet, all right, it says use Desmos, which we'll talk about later, or what I want you guys to really focus on is your graphing calculator to graph each of these parent functions, okay? State the domain and range of each function. Now, what a parent function is the most basic of type of function, okay? The most basic of basic is lines, and the most basic of the basic of lines is the number 1, okay? F of x equals x, which is also y equals x, okay? So we're going to do this with graphing, okay? And you have to graph all these. Now, to do so, you're going to hit the first top left button on your calculator. Well, first turn it on. Everybody has it on, right? That's a plus, okay? You hit y equals, all right? Now, a couple of different things. Number 1, make sure none of these plots are highlighted, okay? These should never be highlighted. What I mean by highlighted is they look like that. They're kind of blocked and bolded, okay? That should not be the case, okay? So if you have one like that, arrow up to it, arrow over to it, hit enter, and it turns it off, okay? Everybody good? From there, you put in the line, okay? So this line is just the line y equals x, okay? Your x key is right there next to alpha, so you hit it, and that's it, okay? Everybody with me so far? All right. Now, to show the graph of that line, you had to hit one more button. It's called graph. It's right there. Fantastic. So you hit it. And hopefully, it looks like so. Remember how last chapter we would say, okay, so what's the y-intercept, what's the slope, all of that, right? Remember all that? For the most part, those days are over. Okay, because watch what I'm going to do next. What I'm going to do next, see this second button? When I hit second, I'm going to hit graph again, and that brings up a table of values. That table of values are coordinates to that graph. Okay? They are coordinates to that graph. So now, instead of worrying about what the y-intercept is and what the slope is, all you have to do is put it in here and get these ordered pairs, -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, 1, okay? And you can draw your straight line from that, okay? Now, that's all nice and good, but some of these are going to be just a little more complicated, okay? Like the next one, okay? So I'm going to move on from this one. You guys can go back and graph this whenever I let you guys start working, okay? The next one is y equals the absolute value of x. So I hit y equals. Okay. Main reason I'm doing this one is because the absolute value is kind of hard to find, and how you notate that in here. You hit math, right arrow, enter. See abs? Y'all got abs now. Did you know that? Look, they're right there. Y'all got abs. I got abs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all day. Okay. So you hit absolute value. Hit X again. And then you hit graph, and it looks like that. All right, it pops up. Okay. All right. And then if you need the table value, you hit second, you go table, and there's more values. Okay. You're going to do that today for all of these on this worksheet. All right. You're going to do that for all of them. Now, the first 5, if you'll notice, are in the section that they title the parent functions. Because these are the most basic, right? Y equals f of x equals x is the most basic line. Absolute value of x is the most basic absolute value graph. X squared is the most basic one of those. X cubed is the most basic one of those. If you look on the next page, the square root is the most basic of those. Okay? After that, it gets a little more complicated. All right? First off, everybody scratch out number 9. Okay? Throw number 9 out. Okay? But after number 9, or after number 5, the directions will say, using the graphing calculator, graph the following functions, which isn't changing, okay? But if you look ahead, there's more stuff to it, okay? Instead of now having just the absolute value of x, we have the absolute value of x and then plus 2, okay? And what I basically want you guys to do is I want you guys to take these new functions, besides 1 through 5, graph those, and then compare them to their corresponding parents. Okay? For example, number 6 is an absolute value, right? Everybody see the absolute value lines? That means its parent is number 2, like we got up here. Okay? So its parent's number 2, because it has absolute value in it. That's what makes it a parent, right? Okay. And then you're going to look and see what is different about it. Okay? And you're going to write that down, basically. Okay? And then you do that for all of them. You do that for number 7, you do that number for 8, number 9, on and on and on and on and on. Okay? We're going to do number 6 together, okay? So, if you go, I'm going to go back to the graph, and just so you guys know exactly what I want, what I really, really want, okay? Here is the parent graph of the absolute value, right? Okay. So my thought process is this. You guys have that on your paper, okay? And then, but I'm going to do it together. So I'm going to hit y equals. I'm going to arrow down one time. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put in number 6. Okay? So math, right arrow.
What did you hit from the graph?
Y equals. Top right, top left. Down 1. There you go. Enter. Math. Right. Get your abs. Okay. Hit X just like we did. Okay. Now, book it. Is that plus 2 inside the absolute value or outside the absolute value? On your worksheet. That plus 2?
Oh, outside.
Outside. Okay. That is very, very important. Yes, sir. Let me see it. Number 6 has the plus 2 on the outside of the absolute value, right? That is definitely important. Okay? So how you get out of that absolute value, see how it's blinking arrow right there? So you hit the right arrow one time, and it takes you outside. It showed, there you go. And then you put in your plus 2. Okay, so plus 2. Okay? Everybody good so far? All right. Now, when I hit graph, I'm not going to yet, but when I do, I'm going to have 2 graphs pop up. The first one's going to be the original, which is going to look like the one we just had. This one's going to be different. Okay? So I hit graph. There's the original. There's the new. Original, new. Okay? What you're going to do on this worksheet is write down the differences between the original parent function, the parent graph, and that one. Okay? So if this one here is the parent, and this one here is new, what's different? What happened? Mr. Savannah said it just in the middle of a yawn. He's like, what did it do? What happened? Moved up. How many? 2. It moved up 2. See that? So that's all you'd write. Moved up 2. The end. Okay? Now I'm going to ask the most hated question amongst kids. Ready? Why did it move up 2? Why did that graph move up 2? Because you added 2 to it. Exactly. That's it. The end. Simple as that. Okay? The end. And you do that for all of these. Alrighty? Remember, you hit second graph, it brings up tables. Okay? Use your table. Alright? Now, it'll do one X column, and then your Y's for the first function, and then your Y's for the second one. So I would advise you do these one at a time. Okay? I would do them one at a time. Book? Didn't do what?
It didn't show the numbers.
On that one? It should. I'll show you in a sec. Okay? Does this kind of make sense? What you're about to do? I'll be around to help. I'll be around to help, okay?